Hi guys, this is the SkyRun 2024 race briefing. I'm Mike DeHaast and next to me is Adrian Safi. First of all, just want to say thanks to everyone that makes these races possible. Landowners are a vital part of what we do, and without their blessing and consent to run over this pristine mountain, we actually can't do this race. And then sponsors. Sponsors, we just want to say thanks. K-WAY, Lead Lenser, Sunto, Race Food, all of you are fantastic. This year we've got Castle Light sponsoring the beer at the finish line. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. And without the sponsors, we can't actually do much and put on this event. I'm going to talk a little bit about logistics and how the race unfolds. And then I'm going to hand over to Adi, who's going to talk about the route a little bit, and he's going to talk also about safety and those aspects of the race. So the first thing is when you register, firstly, registration will occur between 9 and 5 sharp. We're not taking any registrations after 5 o'clock. So if you miss the 5 o'clock cutoff, that's it. You won't get your bib. If you have registered, then you will get an envelope, and in that envelope will be your race number. It will have pins on it. You need to pin your race number to your vest or to your short or to your backpack. We don't really mind. And also in there is what we call a bag tag. It has which is a timing chip. This must go onto the back of your backpack, and there is a cable tie in there. So you just attach that, and that's for all the races. So just to reiterate, registration on Friday for the 165, and then also 38 is on Saturday from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and the race starts at 2 o'clock. So then if you're doing the 100K, you'll have registered, and then you have to do your medical. Guys, please remember to complete the medical questionnaire before Wednesday and submit that to online. This just speeds up the process, because if you haven't done it, you will be asked to do it manually before you have your medical. Once you've passed the medical, you're fit to race. There's a second medical at Ballach before you're allowed to carry on and continue in the race. So you have to pass both medicals to continue in the race. The start of the 165 is at 4 a.m. on Saturday morning. If you're camping at at Lady Grey, sorry, we do have a shuttle service available from just after 3 o'clock to the last shuttle will leave about 20 to 4, and that will drop you at the start line. If you're going to leave your car at the Lady Grey Country Club, they will provide security. That camping ground will be locked, and you can get your car on Sunday or Saturday if you're doing the 65 and coming back with one of the shuttles. Most of the race information, or all the race information, is in the booklet, so please read it carefully. This was sent out with newsletter 1. Just a word on the weather. Adrian's going to talk extensively about the weather, but it's been raining really hard this week up until today. So the roads are quite wet. The mountain is very wet. So if you're driving between your seconds, there's more for your seconds. If you're driving between Lady Grey and Ballach, please be careful on the roads. They are drivable at this stage, but obviously the weather keeps changing. So we're keeping an eye on it, and we will update you should there be any changes on that front. But at the moment, the roads are drivable, and they are just to keep a slow, steady speed. They are clay-based, so they can be a bit slippy, but at the moment they should be fine for all types of vehicles. Yeah, so then just as far as Ballach is concerned, the road into Ballach is drivable. We've just spoken to the farm at this point in time. Again, should we get more rain and this changes, then we'll let you know. However, the position at the moment is the park and ride is in play, and we have a team down there that will assist you to park, or your seconds to park, and then we'll take you in with the shuttle buses. Just in terms of the taxis are available to take people that don't have seconds to and from or from Wartrail Country Club to Lady Grey. We have one shuttle on Friday evening at 8 p.m. and then we have 3 shuttles on Sunday morning, and those times are in the newsletter. Then just in terms of your drop bag, so if you are doing this race unsupported, then drop bags are quite an important part. So we take drop bags at the start line, and these are in 2 separate trailers. So if you've got a bag for Ballach, you put it in the Ballach trailer, and if you've got a bag for Wartrail Country Club, you put it in the Wartrail Country Club trailer. These trailers are on the opposite sides of the roads. They're well managed, so you shouldn't be able to put the wrong bag in the wrong trailer. And our team is there to assist with the bag drops. So just on that, if you're doing the 65 and you're unsupported, your bag from Ballach won't get to the finish line before 10 p.m. because we first close up Ballach, and then we move all the equipment and the bag drops to the finish line. So don't plan to go on the 8 o'clock shuttle and your bag's not back from Ballach. So that's just a heads up. Yeah, so that's basically it from my side. I'm going to hand over to Adi now, who's going to talk a little bit about route and safety and a few other things. Adi.
Guys, welcome. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you on the weekend. I think there's a large percentage of you that have done this race before, and there will for sure be a lot of newcomers. So our first priority on this race is your safety. Everything else is in place, but safety comes first. So we do not at all take any exception to our compulsory kit list. If you do not have the compulsory kit list, we do checks on the mountain, not before the race. You're going to have 2 checks en route. If you do not have the compulsory kit, you're going to be pulled. You're going to wait there until all our marshals get off the mountain, and either if you're lucky, you're going to get a lift from Snowdon, or you're going to be taking a long walk down the mountain. Don't skip on compulsory gear, people. This is very, very important. We've had some serious weather up to date. Possibly there's going to be some snow on the mountain close to Avoca. We've had proper rain, so there's going to be a lot of water on the mountain. But this also plays a major role in us as the crew getting up to the checkpoints. The roads are quite washed, and we've got to make plans to get to those checkpoints to ensure that you guys get through safely. So don't expect race organization to have any water for you en route. The only water that you can definitely count on is just after Snowdon. There's a fountain about 2 km from the Snowdon checkpoint, and then when you drop into the Ballach Valley, there's plenty of streams that you're going to be crossing, and then on the rest of the route you will have access to water. But saying that, there's going to be a lot of fountains on the mountain. Just one word of caution: if you do see a little stream and you see cattle tracks there, don't drink from that water. Just walk 50 or 100 meters up to the source and get water for where it's flowing from the clean water, where you don't see any animal tracks. So weather-wise, the weather's changed for the better. It's not looking as cold. I think last week, Friday, we had maximum temperatures of 1 degree up at Avoca. With the wind chill, that would have been below 0. But it's looking quite moderate, 19 degrees. But in the mountains, it's always cold, so make sure you got your warm weather and your rain gear sorted. And very crucial, put on your warm gear, put on your rain gear before you're wet, before you're cold. So if you see the stuff coming in, make sure it's on. Take that 1 minute. It's going to be a massive, to your benefit. Don't wait until it's too late, because then you're already cold and you're already hypothermic. So make sure you use your kit. That's why you're carrying it. Secondly, safety-wise, when you get to a checkpoint, you're going to be scanned in. Make sure you present yourself to the marshals. Don't think that people have seen you coming past them. Go to the marshal, make sure that they've got your number, that they've scanned you in before you move on. Okay? Very important, because otherwise we're going to be looking for you. So when the field goes past checkpoint 1, if we're missing 2 people because they just skirted the marshals and they went on the route, we put in a search and rescue plan into action. So you'll be causing us a lot of distress. So make sure you go to the marshals and report. Secondly, Mike spoke about the numbers. Your number will be scanned. That is why it's important that your bib and your backpack is visible so that the scanning can pick you up. En route, if something does happen to you en route, if you look in the race book, it's got distances between checkpoints. There's a solid sweep team behind the route, but also you will see, if you look at the distance between checkpoints, you're never more than 5 to 6 Ks from a checkpoint. So if something has gone wrong or you don't feel well, don't just bomb off the mountain. You're going to go nowhere. You're going to get lost. You're going to get stuck in those valleys below. Rather backtrack on the route or go forward to the next checkpoint. Super important, people. The routes, the GPX tracks were sent out in the last newsletter that went out last Friday. Make sure you download those routes onto your units before you get to Lady Grey. The reception in Lady Grey is sometimes iffy, especially if there's a lot of people there. So don't expect to download maps, for example, and your routes in Lady Grey. Do it now while you're at home. The guys that are using the Sunto, download the maps. Also on the Sunto app, you can go and download the SkyRun 2024 route. And if you add your climb assist, it's got great features. It breaks the route down into certain sections, shows you when you've got to climb, how long the climb is for, what elevation you can expect. So do all this while you've got proper signal at home. Make sure everything's loaded so that there's not an issue on race day or registration and you get into panic mode because your watches aren't downloading or your maps aren't downloading. So make sure you use your navigation. In those mountains, I can guarantee you're going to have 4 seasons in one day. With this type of rain and the moisture, is a high possibility of serious mist, especially early in the morning and at night. So make sure you follow your navigation. The route is unmarked. You have to self-navigate, and we do this for a reason, because when the weather comes in and the route was marked and you miss 1 or 2 flags, you lost. So self-navigation is very important. In the case of an emergency, self-rescue is the first point of call. Get to a checkpoint. If you cannot move, the athletes around you must report the incident. So you'll see on your race bib, you'll have 2 cell phone numbers. The first cell phone number is my number. I'm going to be stationed at Snowdon on the route with a medic, and we will then try and assist and get you extracted from the closest marshalling point that we've got. So first of all, if you cannot move, report to an athlete that you've got a problem. Let them convey that message on. Get on your phone myself. If you cannot get hold of me, you'll see there's a second number on your race book. This is an IP phone. It's down below where Mike is. But they're busy setting up, so just make sure that you do get a message through. And other athletes en route, if another athlete is in trouble, please assist them. It means more than any time, because the tides could be turned, and one day you could be in that situation. So assist your fellow athletes.
Sorry, can I just make a point there about cell phones? So a cell phone is compulsory on this race, but it must be turned on. There's no point in running with your cell phone and it's not turned on. Because if you run into trouble and I need to get hold of you or Adrian needs to get hold of you, that phone needs to be on so that we can talk to you. So there's no cell phone signal down off the mountain. There's plenty of signal on top of the mountain. So if you get into trouble, stay on the mountain. If you go into the valleys, no one can talk to you. Okay, this is vital.
Also, just carry a spare power bank in your charger with you, just in case of emergency. The reality is, people, we have got proper medical backup. We've got rocket, air ambulance on standby. We've got the hospitals on standby. But the reality is, if the weather's bad and we cannot get a helicopter in there, it could be many hours before you extract it off that mountain. And even with the air rescue, it's going to be a couple of hours before someone gets off the mountain. That's why it's imperative that you have the compulsory gear and that you look after yourself. I always say, this is a wilderness race. You're not close to civilization. Take care of yourself. Don't be doing silly things like trying to do jumping jack flashes off fence posts so your buddy can get a nice profile picture. Don't do that. Do that when you're close to civilization. All right. It's important. We are traversing private land from the start to the finish. Every single gate that any athlete comes across that's closed, make sure you close it. It doesn't matter if there's a guy's 100 meters behind you or you can see people in the distance. Don't assume that they're going to close the gate, because normally when someone comes to open gate, they assume it was open and they leave it open. Please, it's very important. There's cattle farmers up there, sheep farmers up there. The stock gets mingled between each other and it's a nightmare to sort these things out. So make sure all gates are closed. There's many fence crossings. Do these fence crossings with caution. Some of the fences are quite high fences. Move on down until you find a decent place to cross over the fence. You'll see through the many years of the athletes on this route, there are certain places where the fence is easily crossed. So look at that. Just take some time in crossing those fences. Then very strict cutoff at Olympus. 9 o'clock. If you don't make the 9 o'clock cutoff, it's not that we're being nasty or not nice guys. This is the 28th year that this race is being run. And the statistics prove that if you do not make the Olympus cutoff by 9 o'clock, you're not going to make the Baloch cutoff in time. And you're going to be cut off there. And you're just putting yourself at risk for that whole rest of the day. Also, people, 7 o'clock Baloch in, 8 o'clock Baloch out. If you only leave Baloch by 8 o'clock, the reality, you might not make the finish in time. And you might not make the turns 6 o'clock cutoff in time. So there's a couple of cutoffs that we really enforce very strictly. It is the Olympus cutoff, it is the Baloch cutoff, it is the Edgel cutoff at 12, I think it's 12, it is in the race book, but it's 12 a.m. at midnight, and then it's the turn cutoff at 6 o'clock in the morning. Those cutoffs, if you don't make it, it's for your own good that we are pulling you off the route. So what that means is don't dawdle. Don't expect, I can get into Baloch at 7 o'clock. I'm telling you now from experience, if you get into Baloch at 7 o'clock, you're going to have a miracle in the second half of the race to finish in time. So don't dawdle, get your thing done. Our sweepers will also be pushing you en route, and like I say, the longer you're out there, the more you're at risk. Then just a couple of pointers on this route. Please ensure that when you leave Baloch, you indicate you are marked off when you leave Baloch. If you then decide, when you go over the wall and that Medusa of the finish line lures you in, you hear the commentators and you hear the music, and you do the 100 Ks, and you go to the finish line because you just think you've had enough, it's over, you'll come back next year, please report the fact to the finish line. Don't just go and disappear and have a beer. Go to the finish line and say, listen, I was doing the 100K, I've pulled out, I'm going to the finish line. And 100K athletes, if you decide to do that, you don't get a medal for the 65. You've entered the 100K, you have to come back next year and then come and do it. So don't, every year we get yard, but do they get a medal for the 65? No, you get the medal for the race you entered and you started in. Also, very cold at night up there, up Bridle Pass. I think it's going to be cold this year as well because of the moisture, so be prepared for cold weather. I would strongly suggest those people like me that like to spend the full time out on the route, pack in a little puffy jacket that you can pick up at Baloch and just have something warm for that section. We've got our refuge at the hut, where you'll be getting something warm to eat. We've got a new Dacinel, she's new doing the hut. She's got big shoes to fill, but she's going to really take care of you guys. People, remember one thing: there's only so much space in that hut, and you've got athletes coming throughout the night. You've got the 30K athletes, you've got the 100K athletes. Don't have a picnic and a party over there, please. Get in, get warm, get food in your stomachs, and then move on and get to that finish line there. You can have a proper hot shower, proper meals, and you're officially a skyrunner. Just regarding the medical checks, that form that was sent out to you is for everyone to complete, from the 100K, the 65K, and the 38K. It's very important that everyone completes this form. But the medical check in Lady Grey is only for the 100-kilometer athletes. All right, so I'm sure that everything is covered in the race book. Safety, compulsory gear, stay on the route, self-rescue. Don't just bomb off the mountain, stay on the route, we'll get to you. And don't do anything silly by trying to do flick-flacks, or if you do find some snow up there, and I'm sure there's going to be snow up there at Avoca, don't go do snow angels and get hypothermia. And also, if there is snow closer to Avoca, just make sure that you don't try and walk through the snow, because it can break through, you don't know what's underneath. Skirt around it, either go above it or below it. And I think be nice to our marshals, they're volunteers. You're moving, they're sitting there cold and wet. They're not there to give you leg massages or anything. They're there to make sure you're safe. So be nice to our marshals, be nice to our crew, and I promise you, you guys are going to finish this race and leave changed people, and you're going to be frothing to get those early bird entries in for 2025. So we see you on the weekend, and I look forward to seeing you. I am going to be at registration. We're going to have a Q&A at the country club on Friday evening. If you've got any questions, ask. And if you really want to ask before then, my phone number is in the race booklet. You can send me a WhatsApp, and just, if you've got any concerns, let us know. The Sunto crew are going to be there at Lady Grey to help you with any navigational issues or questions or watches updates. And they're also going to be at Baloch. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you. So drive safe. Remember, part of this race is getting there and getting back home. So we'll see you on Friday, and looking forward to a wonderful event.